What's up? Good morning, fans. We're on a Monday morning after a big weekend of playoff NFL football games. Wanted to touch on a few things. First of all, stories breaking out of Giants land. Mr. Daboll himself is in for a second interview, and that's all you need to know. 2 weeks ago, I expressed a strong desire of my own to have the Buffalo regime. I predicted Joe Schoen, and he would bring in Daboll. The guys' faces, to me, fit our organization and where we needed to go. Serious football guys, get back to the basics. Serious football. And yes, people have to understand we don't have a Josh Allen. We have a Daniel Jones. But once again last night, on display for the entire world to see what Daboll type of offense can do when you put an offense together. Now, we're not going to have an exact offense like the Buffalo Bills. But I'm telling you, we have the weapons. We know that. We can have probably a better run game than Buffalo. And the Giants have been known throughout history, and I'm a big man on basing stuff on history, that when the Giants have good teams, they usually build up some of the best defenses in football. The Buffalo Bills have a good defense, but last night it showed itself to not be the strong type of dominant defense you need in order to win Super Bowls. Let's just put it this way, when it push came to shove, the defense got lit up. Now, Mahomes and the Chiefs, of course, are a dynamic football team. They've been like that for the last 4 or 5 years, so it is what it is. And on a stage lit up, and what I called last night was, to me, the Super Bowl of the NFL, because the winner of those two teams, to me, was going to the Super Bowl and probably winning it. What you saw is two teams playing on a level, on a whole different level than the rest of the league, man. The Bills and Chiefs showed you last night they're ahead over the entire league. That was football played on a top of a mountain. Great game. My heart goes out to the Buffalo Bill fans. The Bills just can't seem to find that Lombardi that has been escaping them for their entire history. Really wanted to see the Bills go win. Bring a Lombardi to Western New York, a town full of dynamic maniac fans who deserve one. Guy Jim Kelly, who has suffered his whole life, and he's still alive and still with us, thank God. Wanted to see him enjoy one. But hey, the Bills are set up for a bunch of years to come, and maybe that Super Bowl will come. Josh Allen will keep them right somewhere around the top for many years to come. To me, that man looks like the next legendary face of the NFL. Now, Daboll's in town for a second interview, and I'm pretty sure by midweek you're going to have your next head coach of the New York Football Giants. And I'm telling you, be excited, because the Giants are now set up with real football guys. Look, it comes down to Daboll and Flores, but I think Daboll has the knot. We got the GM that's connected to him. Daboll is a hard-nosed football guy who's been around for years, and he deserves his chance. And he just seems like the type of face and body, the type of personality that fits this Giants organization. Flores, really good coach, tough, born and raised in Brooklyn. But there are some rumors coming out that he's had problems with players. And I think because he's a young, physical, strong-minded guy, I could see how in his mind, he's a coach, but he's also still a player. Like, young-minded, and probably has knocked heads with a lot of the players. And I think that's a problem and something that the Giants don't need right now. I think Daboll's going to be the head coach. I thought that 2 weeks ago, and I feel strongly about it today. And you know what? I will be extremely happy to have Joe Schoen and Daboll and whoever they choose to bring in. I also feel Daboll and the Giants can take 1 year to try to work on Daniel Jones. Let's see if Daniel Jones can grow under this guy. put an offense around him and Barkley. Of course, we're going to build the O-line. I'm pretty sure of it. So I'm going to stay one more year with Daniel Jones. Am I confident about him? No. But I expressed the desire to see Daniel Jones be the guy. And so I'm hoping that Daniel Jones can grow. And I'm thinking Daboll could come in and do the best he can to take Jones to the next step. Hey, let's see, man. Let's give Daniel Jones one more year. You maybe bring in a Trubisky or a Mariota to challenge him. That's fine. And if things don't work out over next year, then you go to the 2023 draft and you draft a quarterback. Now, if the Giants want to try to make a move to get a Malik Willis somewhere in the middle, late first round, hey, it's a new regime and we're going to back them up. But I believe that they are going to come in and they're going to find out what Daniel Jones can really do. And in order to find out what Daniel Jones can really do, O-line, offensive line, hog mollies. I'm talking about real offensive linemen, top picks in the draft offensive linemen, not third-round projects, all right? Some teams can do that like the Chiefs. The Giants got to go top-notch level O-linemen, staple pieces. Now, I'm not going through the draft again. We all know what's there at 5 and 7. I wanted to touch on one team in this playoffs, once again, who has shitted the bed, okay? And he's led by a guy that a lot of people anoint as the greatest QB ever. Not me. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, time and time again, have won 12, 13 games, year in and year out. Put up big numbers. Blow away the league stats. MVP numbers, year in and year out. Home advantage, year in and year out. And every single year, Aaron Rodgers comes into January, steps up to the big game at home under the lights in the cold, frozen tundras of Lambeau Field, behind a fierce Lambeau crowd. And the man comes up as a mental midget. A big game midget. Aaron Rodgers. Yes, I called Aaron Rodgers a big game midget. The man has shit the bed over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Every postseason, you come in with the best team in football, you're set up to go to the Super Bowl, and you don't even win your first home playoff game. Last year, they lost to Tampa. All right, he wanted to blame the coaches. Over the years, they've lost games. They wanted to blame that they didn't have a defense. Every year, it's something. Don't have the receivers. Didn't have a running game. The defense ain't good enough. This year, you had a run game. You had a top-level defense. You had home advantage. You have arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL. And what's the excuse? They didn't get me a third wide receiver. They didn't get me a beast tight end. Every year it's something. It was too dark. The grass was frozen. It was snowing. The 49ers play in California. The 49ers play in California. All right? They come in your home. They scrape. First, the game starts out with a touchdown for the Packers, right? Then they drive down the field again. They're about to go up 14-0. This game's on the verge of being over. The tight end fumbles deep in Niners territory, somewhere around the 20, 25, I don't know. It was a monster fumble. And what happens? Aaron Rodgers and the Packers go into a coma. They fold. They stop playing football. Their offense disappears. Yes, the 49ers have one of the best defenses in football. Their front four and their front seven is so physical and lethal. It might be the best D in football. They do remind me of the 07 Giants defense. And the Niners scratch and they claw. And they scratch and they claw. And they pound. and they eat some physical hits. And what do you know? The Packers cannot set up another drive the entire game. Blocked field goal before the half by the Niners special teams, which came up monster this game. And what do you know? The Packers find themselves in a 10-3 dogfight with moments left in the game. And boom! The lights go out in Lambeau. The punt is blocked in the end zone, and the Niners walk in and tie the game, and you knew right there the game was over. The 49ers were going to win this game. So I look back on 30 years of football and the Green Bay Packers, who have had a lotto ticket, a mega lotto ticket no one in the league has had. They've been blessed to have two legendary quarterbacks to go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. No team in the league could even dream of having that opportunity. 30 years of two legends. And what do you got to show for it? Two measly Super Bowl rings. Just two. 30 years of two legends. Aaron Rodgers, who's the most arrogant quarterback in the goddamn country. He thinks his shit smells like a rose. I'll show up to camp when I want. I'll go smoke. I'll go hiking. I'll climb mountains. I'll laugh at you. I'll demand whatever the hell I want to demand. And I'll show up when I damn please. I'll walk in on a white horse in late August. And the organization will suck me. Right? I'll put up 40 touchdowns. I'll win 13 games. I'll laugh. I'll tell people, relax after week 1. Take it easy. I'll talk to people how I want. I'll lie to you about having COVID. Because guess what? I'm Aaron Rodgers, man. I'm above the entire league. The entire league is about me. And only me. I'm the great A-Rod. Number 12. But how many years are you going to dominate the league, go to the playoffs, and fold like a cheap-ass napkin? Huh? 07 Giants go into Lambeau, knock off Brett Favre in a war, 23-20 in overtime. That Giant defense was the best in the league. Maybe not all season, but you know they were the best. Sometimes you just watch a team and you know. And boy, did they light it up in the playoffs. 2011, Aaron Rodgers was 15-1. Confident as ever. Put up numbers that were out of this world. 15-1. The Giants got no shot. The Giants go into Lambeau and Eli Manning makes Aaron Rodgers sit and learn a lesson. As he lights up the scoreboard, I believe we had 37 points that night. What was the score that night? 37-17? 37-20? That game was over at halftime when a Hail Mary was caught by Hakeem Nicks. Once again, Aaron Rodgers didn't really show up that night. And the receivers weren't on target. They played, they dropped the ball. It was a mess. But Eli Manning was lights out in the playoffs again. Come on, we could go on and on. There are a lot of these games, man. A lot of these games. Every single year with this team. Huh? If my memory serves me correct, did Green Bay not lose to Arizona in a shootout? Right. I remember Dansby was the guy that came up with the monster play for Arizona, right? The linebacker. Another loss that team had no right losing. Last year to Tampa. Tampa comes from sunny 85-degree Florida to play in frozen Lambeau. And the Packers fold in the fourth quarter. Can't find a way to get a score. Too scared to go for it on 4th and 2. They elect to punt. Never saw the ball again. And that was the coach's fault that day. It wasn't Aaron Rodgers and the Packers because they couldn't put up points the first 3.5 quarters. So suddenly they got to score 14 points in the last 2 or 3 minutes, right? And this weekend's the final straw. You had no damn reason, no way, no how can you lose this game at home. to a 49ers team that does not nearly have half the offense that you do. The 49ers have had 20 possessions in postseason this year. They've only scored 2 touchdowns. Yet the 49ers are still playing football in the NFC Championship next weekend because of coaching, special teams. They'll pound the rock. They grind it out. They will grind it out. They're a hard-nosed, old-school football team. And anyone who says that old-school football doesn't win, just take a look at the Niners. They're still doing it the old way. We're going to run the ball. We're going to try to control the clock, special teams, hard-nosed defense, and we're going to try to win this game 13-10. Hey! The Buffalo Bills, in a shootout, put up fireworks last night. They lit that stadium on fire. Josh Allen is setting up to be a monster quarterback. He might be the next legend of the NFL. It wasn't enough to win the game. It wasn't enough. Because old school still wins. Yes, 35 points is fun and exciting. The fantasy owners love that. All you little fantasy kids love that. Still don't win championships. Grind it out, ugly, bloody, knock you in your face, run the football, own the clock for 38, 40 minutes. Special teams are forgotten about feature in football. Special teams. And just smart coaching. Sometimes conservative. But conservative with structure. Conservative that is planned. Wins you football games late in January. So I sit here, tell you, 30 years the Packers have had something this league can only dream of. 2 legendary quarterbacks, Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. And I won't even get into the debate, because if you go to Green Bay and ask 100% of the fans who they would choose, 95% are taking Brett Favre. And so am I. Brett Favre was a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was just lucky to play in a much easier era for quarterbacks. Brett Favre played in an era where you got your face knocked off your head, and he still did it big. 3 straight MVPs, back-to-back Super Bowls. He won one. The other Super Bowl, he had a perfect rating. Lost to Elway 35-28 in a game that was perfectly played. Threw 4 touchdowns. Hey, went to Minnesota in his 18th year? What was he, 40, 41? Went to Minnesota, took a 3-win team 1 year. He went in there. I believe they won 13 games with his season. 13 games did they win? And they were one bad pass at the end of the NFC Championship away from going to the Super Bowl. Brett Favre with the Vikings. Went to the Jets, had them 8-3 before he got a major injury and tried to play through it. Had the garbage Jets 8-3 that year. Hey, that's not here or there. Bottom line. Once again, Aaron Rodgers. If you're going to talk the talk that you talk and act the way you act, that's fine. You are a great quarterback. You are one of the greatest ever. But when it all goes down in history, you came up about this big in your postseason career. This big. It's been 12, 13 years since you won that Super Bowl. And the most embarrassing letdown in the NFL right now in the entire league is that Aaron Rodgers and the Packers haven't gotten back to a Super Bowl since. And it's a joke. Your stats are all nice and dandy. Let me tell you something. Rings. When you're on that mountain, when you're on that type of pedestal, only one thing matters, brother. How many Lombardis have you brought home? And you've shit the bed countless times. And this week, 10 points at home, when the whole world has you guys placed in the Super Bowl, that's garbage. You can love Rodgers all you want. Take your heart out of it and look at the facts. This man has been a disappointment. And you don't think so? Go ask a diehard season ticket holder over at Lambeau. Go ask a Green Bay fan. The only one thing they've been waiting for is another championship. This guy, who you could have predicted when he won his first Super Bowl was going to win like 3 of them, hasn't gotten back. And has had countless home games in the playoffs. Loss. Hey, you could walk away from Green Bay this offseason, but to me, if you do, you know what you are? You're a fraud. Because right now, from where I'm sitting, Aaron Rodgers owes Green Bay a championship. And that's the bottom line. Because Miz said so.